As early as 2006, Japanese players found an amazing exploit that unlocks a special debug mode on a vanilla copy of Doubutsu no Mori Plus, their version of Animal Crossing. To perform this exploit, all you need is a copy of a random Konami game called Jikyo World Soccer 2002. Simply boot up World Soccer, and once you get to the title screen, open the GameCube's disc tray, swap the game out for Animal Crossing, and hit the reset button, all while the console is still running. And voila! You now have a special debug mode enabled in Animal Crossing, allowing you to use a second controller to spawn any item, control the flow of time, and modify in-game memory values all on the fly. Yeah, I'm not kidding, it really is this easy. But how does this work? Why does launching some random soccer game enable a God mode in Animal Crossing? Let's investigate. To answer our questions, we first need to understand how Animal Crossing's debug menus even work. Some of you may recall a video I made a couple of years ago explaining how you can actually enable a more limited debug menu by simply inputting a special button combination on a second controller. While this is cool, the only real function of this debug mode is to display information about the game. In other words, this is not the God mode that Japanese players found, and this state will not allow you to spawn items or control the game's speed or anything like that. From this, it's obvious that there are different access layers to this game's debug modes, and some other piece is missing to unlock all of the debug functions. If we take a look at the game's code, we can find references to numerous game states. There's things like debug mode, shop promo version, and something called Zuru mode. We are most concerned with the latter, and there are 3 different Zuru modes programmed into the game. All of these Zuru modes translate to cheat mode in English. So how do we enable these? Internally, all of these states are managed by a single 4-byte section of memory. This area is checked every frame, and the first 10 bits of whatever number is written here controls all of the game's debug states. For example, let's say the game boots up with this section of memory all zeroed out. Converted to binary, each of these 10 bits are responsible for enabling various debug states. Bit 0 controls whether the base Zuru mode is enabled, Bit 3 controls Zuru mode 2, Bit 5 controls debug mode, and so on. Notably, we can enable the base Zuru mode at any time by inputting the button combination I talked about earlier. Whenever the game detects that specific button sequence on a second controller, it simply flips the first bit of this number, which then triggers the game to display special debug information. However, what we really want is to enable Zuru Mode 2, which is the all-powerful God mode that allows you to spawn items and control internal values. Now, this state was obviously only ever intended for developer hands, and under normal conditions, this mode can never be activated by the player. But somehow, if you first launch Jikyo World Soccer 2002 and reset into Animal Crossing without turning off the console, the game will boot with the Zuru Mode 2 bit already enabled. At this point, you might be thinking, okay, Jikyo World Soccer must coincidentally set up some value at the exact memory address that Animal Crossing uses, and resetting without turning off the console somehow causes those values to linger and be misinterpreted by Animal Crossing. After all, using a completely separate game to set up RAM values for another game to take advantage of isn't unheard of. Famously, if you swap the NES game Tennis with Super Mario Bros. Without turning off the console, Super Mario Bros. Will boot into glitched levels on vanilla hardware, all because of lingering RAM values. So I thought something similar must be happening between World Soccer and Animal Crossing. However, I quickly noticed a problem with our specific situation. The area of memory that controls Animal Crossing's game states is set up as a virtual memory address very early in GameCube's RAM. The issue is that the GameCube is more tightly programmed than, say, the NES or N64, so this RAM address is always cleared on any reset, no matter what. So if there aren't any lingering RAM values from Jikyo World Soccer, then how come Animal Crossing's God mode is enabled by it every single time? Despite there being tons of footage of this exploit occurring, there is seemingly little to no technical explanation on why this occurs. And at this point, it was nagging me more than I care to admit, and I was not going to stop until I had an answer. Luckily, even if we don't know how the exploit works, of course, the end result does give us an incredibly powerful debug mode, so we can actually use the game itself to look for clues. While in Animal Crossing's God mode, we can hold down L+R on the second controller, and the game will display things like the build date, disk ID, and, most importantly, the hex value of the 4 bytes controlling the game state in our memory buffer. Holding down Z will also print out this number in 32-bit binary, making it easy to see what bits are set. If we take a look at these values after performing the World Soccer hot swap, we can see the value inside our buffer is hex 55AD. This is consistent every time I perform the exploit, and I confirmed it with a memory viewer. If we expand this to binary, we can see that bits 0, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, 10, 12, and 14 are all set. But again, only the first 10 bits control the game states. Looking at our table, we find that this value enables Zooter mode, Reset Exempt 2, Zooter mode 2, Debug mode, Extended memory mode, and Shop promo version. Technically, all of these game states are active at once, but again, Zooter mode 2 is the only one that matters here. Now, simply looking at the value of hex 55AD gave me a pretty big hint as to what's going on, and since this value does not come from anywhere in Animal Crossing's code, I knew that this value had to come from GQ World Soccer. So we're at least a little bit closer to understanding what's going on. We know that hot swapping GQ World Soccer with Animal Crossing causes hex 55AD to be written in Animal Crossing's game state buffer. But again, the million-dollar question is, how does this happen if memory values get cleared when hot swapping games? At this point, I thought that the value might not come from RAM itself. We also know that we have to press the reset button after swapping games for Animal Crossing to boot up. Well, I looked into the boot up code for the Japanese Plus version of Animal Crossing, and sure enough, the game does check for various boot states. On startup, the game fetches something called the reset code, and if it is set to anything other than 0, the game is considered to be launched from a hot reset. And if the game is launched from a hot reset, the game copies the value of the reset code directly to our 4 bytes in the game state control buffer. The value of the reset code is stored in a processor interface register, meaning it exists outside the confines of RAM and is not natively cleared when switching games. Whenever a user resets, every GameCube game will always write to this register, no matter what. Typically, when resetting, developers would just write this value as 0 or 1 to specify which type of reset was used. However, there are no restrictions, and you can technically write any 32-bit integer into this register. So, if Animal Crossing fetches this value and copies it directly to its game state buffer, then I knew that GQ World Soccer must be using some weird, abnormal reset code. To confirm this, I actually reverse engineered every single reset call from GQ World Soccer 2002 using a tool called Ghidra, an open source decompiler developed by the United States NSA. Yeah, pretty big day for the GQ World Soccer technical community, comprised of just me. Anyways, by tracing back the GameCube's reset assembly, I was able to find where GQ World Soccer hot resets after the disk tray was opened. And, just like I predicted, the game calls the Dolphin OS reset function with a reset code of hex 55AA. Like I mentioned, it was standard to just write 0 or 1 as the reset code, so why would Konami use 55AA? Well, if you know a little bit about computer science history, you might actually recognize hex 55AA. These are the exact magic bytes used back in the IBM PC days to signal the end of a boot sector. This convention of using hex 55AA to mark the end of a sector or a successful execution was used very frequently in early computing. So it seems some developers at Konami were a bit old school and decided to fall back to hex 55AA as the reset code instead of 0 or 1. This is the reset code that then gets read by Animal Crossing, and since it's greater than 0, the game boots under hot reset conditions. From here, the game copies the reset code value from the hardware register into its special game state control buffer. But wait, didn't we say that the value here should be hex 55AD, not 55AA? Well, the value does get copied over as 55AA, but then Animal Crossing performs some further logic to flip more bits. On boot, there's an additional check to see if the reset exempt 2 bit is already set. If it isn't, like in our case, the reset exempt bit is cleared and the reset exempt 2 bit is set instead. In other words, bit 1 is flipped to 0 and bit 2 is flipped to 1, converting our number to hex 55AC. Then, as a final sanity check, whenever the game sees that the debug mode bit is enabled, the game automatically sets the first bit to 1 every single frame, effectively giving us a final value of hex 55AD, which matches up exactly with our exploit. Notably, the conditions for this to work aren't even that strict. You pretty much just need a game that sends an abnormal reset code. Remember, Zooter Mode 2 is enabled when bit 3 of this number is set to 1, and that's all the game cares about. As such, there's a ridiculous number of values that have bit 3 set to 1, so all of those would work to enable this. I've heard some reports of the EA game SSX Tricky also being used to enable Animal Crossing's debug mode, but I wasn't able to replicate it. Still, make no mistake, GQ World Soccer is just one game that happens to send a value that works. I'm willing to bet that there are other games that send weird reset codes, but I just don't have the patience to find them. Now, unfortunately, the logic that copies the reset code to our game state buffer was removed entirely in future versions of Animal Crossing. The developers were seemingly aware of this issue, since in the international versions, they left a specific comment where this line of code used to exist, stating that the GameCube's reset code should be ignored. So this exploit is exclusive to Doubutsu no Mori Plus and does not work in other versions of Animal Crossing, including the North American version and the updated Japanese E Plus game. As an aside, you might be curious about Animal Crossing's other debug states that were shown here. We know that Zooter mode enables the debug display information, and Zooter mode 2 enables the Super God mode that allows you to spawn items and control the flow of time, but what about the other modes? Well, like I mentioned, most of these aren't very interesting. The reset exempt states don't appear anywhere else in the code, and I'm not really sure what they were used for. Maybe some early exemptions for triggering resetty, but I'm just speculating. The expanded memory mode controls how much RAM the game is allowed to use. The GameCube has 24 megabytes of main SRAM, but presumably some dev kits had more or Nintendo planned for a RAM expansion at some point, since this state being set allows the game to use up to 32 megabytes of RAM. This is interesting, but in practice does nothing on retail copies of the game. Now, Zooter Mode 3 is technically one step above Zooter Mode 2, and it does inherit all of its privileges. The only thing exclusive to Zooter Mode 3 is the ability to enter special button combinations that trigger various resets. Now, Shop Promo version does sound promising, and it reads like it would trigger some sort of early demo version for use in shop kiosks or display units. Yeah, unfortunately not. But if you do have the Shop Promo version enabled, it does do one thing. It displays a special line of text on the startup screen that reads Shop Promote version. And that's literally it. So yeah, Zooter Mode 2 is really the only interesting one here, and luckily, Konami's little soccer game enables the exact bits for us. It's a bit crazy to me that the decision of Konami to use IBM's magic bytes of hex 55AA as their reset code would end up causing such a game-breaking exploit in Animal Crossing. While I did most of the decompilation and research here myself, I'll still give my classic shoutout to Kyler, since his work decompiling the North American Animal Crossing allowed me to easily find the appropriate functions in the Japanese version. Further, I'd like to give a big thank you to my Patreon and YouTube members for their patience while waiting for this video and continuing to support the channel. Special shoutouts to Lunascape, Mithra, Dylan Trudeau, Silly Marina, Villager, Japan Eat, Tammy's Head, Tarumi, Page01, Kai D, ComfyBoy404, Bobby Nard, Goose Fart, Cray, Highly in Descent, Calidor, Arbor Days, Lock and Key 24, Wesley Witz, Retro Reversing, Jesse RNDM, HPR, Kydrin, insert clever username here, Dimitri, Sned6772, Magical Fishing, Martin the Level 10 Wizard V2, Howling Coder, Olive Garden, Venus, J Horsefall, Yeldabouth, Nedux, Pizza Dog DS, May I, and The Headless Artist. And as always, thank you all for sticking around and watching to the end. Until next time.